to help fill in these nutritional gaps of a man's diet. Essential for Men is formulated with 10 key nutrients to help support men's health, including their heart, brain, muscle, and immune support, and only has the essential vitamins guys like you need.
Marni The Wing Woman is very popular online. Oftentimes in my industry, I know some people, they become very good marketers before they actually learn the skill sets of coaching man-to-woman dynamics. She's a very attractive girl, and she speaks with power. She is great on camera. She knows how to hook her audience. Now, the real question is, does she know what she's talking about? That's what we're gonna find out right here and right now. Let's get into it. I'm throwing a boot camp in Las Vegas, Nevada, Halloween weekend. Halloween in Las Vegas is absolutely fucking insane. Gorgeous girls everywhere. This is gonna be a 5-man group and we're gonna be going 8 hours a day. Speaking of the most gorgeous girls on the planet, dressed like this. You'll be getting coaching from a man who's worked for multiple companies, has been in this for 11 years. If you want to take your dating life to the next level, this is your chance. The bootcamp is now 40% off. Payment plans are available. Let me know before the spots run out.
Like them. And if you're like most guys, you might be doing some of these things too. In this video, I'm going to show you the 8 most common and most unattractive habits that make women dislike you instantly. 8 things that guarantee that a girl will never want to date or sleep with you again. So as you watch this video, simply take note of which ones you might be doing consciously or unconsciously, and then stop doing them immediately. Some of my girlfriends say number 3 and number 5 are the worst habits of them all. And
This is the thing about her videos, her intros are extremely long. I've looked through a lot of her videos. Her intros usually go for about 2 to 5 minutes. But she's also a huge YouTuber, so I should probably be taking this to heart.
I believe that number 8 kills your chances with women the fastest. But anyways, all of them are bad, attraction-killing habits that you need to avoid now. So sit back, pay attention, and make sure you never do these 8 things. I'm Marni, and from here on out, I will be your very own personal wing girl. And every week, I give you the no BS insider info on what women really want versus what they say they want. Plus, the most effective methods to win over any girl you like. So hit that subscribe button now so that you never miss a video. So before I dive in, actually, I wanted to discuss one additional habit that I didn't include in my list, but many men have that absolutely turns women off. It's the habit of men not taking care of their own health. And lucky for you, this habit is an easy one to fix with today's amazing sponsor, Ritual Essential Vitamins. I've actually been taking, which are the women's ones for like 2 years, and I absolutely love them. And I know that you are going to love taking the men's multivitamins. So here's the thing. Even though we all do our best to eat a balanced diet, there are some nutrients that are just really hard to get from food alone. So for example, over 70% of men don't get enough vitamin E, and up to 97% of men don't get enough vitamin D from their diet. So Ritual made Essential for Men the fully vegan and obsessively researched multivitamin to help fill in these nutritional gaps of a man's diet. Essential for Men is formulated with 10 key nutrients to help support men's health, including their heart, brain, muscle, and immune support, and only has the essential vitamins guys like you need. And for today only, Ritual is off.
By the way, I've never seen this video before. I just have seen the pattern of her videos. Her intros are so fucking long.
Anyone who watches this video, 10% off their first 3 months, which is awesome. And this subscription-based supplement is only about $1 a day to have essential nutrients delivered to your door. To get your hands on these amazing supplements at 10% off your first 3 months, go to ritual.com/Marni with the code. You are going to thank me, and women will like you more for it. All right, so here are the 8 horribly unattractive habits that make women dislike you instantly. Number 1, bragging. Bragging is a clear sign of insecurity. It shows that you don't feel good enough about yourself, so you talk about your car or your income, your achievements, and so on to make others validate you. Many guys do this hoping that a girl is going to be impressed by what they brag about, but the truth is, it never ever works. In fact, in 10 out of 10 situations, bragging would make a girl lose respect for you, lose attraction for you almost instantly. Don't get me...
Absolutely fucking true. Bragging, there are certain ways that you can sneak in being a braggart, but for the most part, not bragging and keeping things close to your chest will make a girl tenfold more attractive to you. This is something I call a vacuum of qualification. It's not just bragging by itself, but any means or modes or trying to make a girl like you is going to make a girl less likely to like you. There are certain things that you can do, and you can get pretty good at acting and speaking a certain way to make a girl like you. But for the most part, anything you do try to do will make the girl repelled or disinterested in you. Will put you in the friend zone, honestly.
I'm not saying it's bad to talk about your achievements and stuff. Like, it's nice to know that somebody's accomplished something. But talk about it proudly if and when it comes up in conversation. If a girl asks you about your fancy car, your amazing job, a skill you're good at, and things like that, answer without hesitation, with pride. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you force it into a conversation as a clear attempt to elevate your status in some way, that's when it becomes bragging. And that's when it becomes unattractive and dislikable. All right, moving on. Number 2, disqualifying competition. Another very common thing I see a lot of guys doing a lot. So here's how it plays out. So let's say you're talking to a girl that you like, and the girl looks at or talks about some other guy or celebrity crush, somebody else that's not you. You feel a bit threatened by that other person, and you might decide to put him down in some way. Maybe you say something like, oh yeah, he's like good looking, but his shirt's ridiculous. Like, why is he wearing that shirt? Or, oh God, he's like the dumbest guy ever. Probably didn't even graduate from college. Basically, you're trying to disqualify someone you think is competition for you. And while that might seem like a good strategy in the moment, it's not. You might think that by putting the other guy down, you're elevating your own status, but that's...
Agreed. Honestly, I just agree. That makes total sense.
Wrong, and you're actually showing the girl that you're threatened by that other guy. You're showing her that you don't really trust in your own values as a man, which of course is super unattractive. So in those situations, it's better to either say nothing or give the other guy a nice compliment. That's going to show her that you have high self-confidence. You're not threatened by any potential competition, which you shouldn't be. Heck, you probably don't even see that the other guy is competition, and that is very attractive. Okay, so moving on to number 3, over complimenting. Look, compliments, they're great. I like being complimented. Every girl likes compliments. In fact, every guy likes them.
The earlier in the dating scene, the more attractive the girl, the worse compliments can go. I've had it where I've been on a long date with a girl and I give her one compliment. The second I give her that one compliment, I can tell that I ruined the entire date. Depending on how attractive the girl is. The more, like, if the girl's not that attractive or she feels like she's lower value than you, it's not bad to pepper in the compliments every so often so she feels a value, so she can feel like she's a part of the same team. If she feels like you're out of her league. Most of the time, though, and I mean like 95 to 99% of the time, complimenting, I don't even believe in complimenting women on dates in general nowadays whatsoever. Like, I think that complimenting is just, it does nothing but hurt you. All the guys that compliment girls, for the most part, are usually the guys that do really fucking bad with girls. So if you're the guy that starts complimenting a girl, honestly, I would throw it completely out of your repertoire. I'd take it one step further than her, and I'd say never compliment a girl. It doesn't help you out. Unless the girl really likes you or you've been dating her for a while, don't compliment the girl.
And there's nothing wrong with giving a genuine compliment to someone. But when you start over complimenting someone, like, oh, you look so great, wow.
Let me give this a caveat. Unless you're doing a direct approach, which is totally fine, that's the only reason you should ever compliment a girl. When you're trying to show intent, and you're not very good at showing intent without the words yet. If you're not very good at showing intent without words, without expression, then verbalize it. Then make it well known. Make it to where there's no question of whether or not you like her. That's the one and only reason I would ever allow a guy to compliment a girl.
Oh, I love your eyes. Wow, you're so sweet. Oh, you did so good in school. You're the coolest girl that I've ever met. Like, just too much. This is when it becomes unattractive and super annoying. So over-complimenting signals to a girl that you're desperate to make her like you. In fact, it also comes across as like a bit fake. Like you're pretending to like things about her just to get in her pants. It's obviously a huge turnoff, and that doesn't feel very good to somebody. So the golden rule to remember is that compliment only when it's genuine. When you honestly like something about a girl, then you let her know. Let her know and move on with the conversation. And don't dwell on it. Don't seek any reaction from her. Casually let her know what you like and what you don't like. And bonuses or bonus points if you can make it really specific. Like instead of, you look gorgeous tonight, you could say, that dress looks amazing on you. It's a really good choice. Like that color, maybe not that color. That's a little bit too much. But you know what I mean. Specific compliments leave a greater impact on people. All right, onward to the next bad habit. Number 4, teasing too much. Lots of guys who watch dating advice online often hear that teasing, being a bit edgy, challenging the girl, and so on, builds attraction. And yes, that does work. I've said it several times on this channel, in my videos, in my programs. In fact, I even made a video recently about 22 best flirting and teasing lines that make girls want you. And you can check it out. I'll put the link in the description box below. But here's the truth about teasing. In moderation, it's fun, it's exciting, it builds chemistry. Easily one of the best tactics to speed up the process of attraction. But when guys use it too often, when they act too edgy and too confrontational and too teasy, and they challenge a girl a bit too much, it becomes predictable and boring. It loses its power. What was exciting before now becomes really annoying and dull, and that's what you need to remember. Teasing is great, but moderation is key, just like everything. Before I move on to habit number 5, I have a very small request. If you're liking this video so far and find it useful, please hit that thumbs up button on your screen and let me know, because it makes me feel good. Not only will I appreciate it a lot, but more importantly,
I feel like most guys wouldn't have the issue with over teasing. I don't think I've ever had an issue personally with over teasing unless a guy full on just starts dissing on a girl, which is not even teasing at that point. That's the difference between breaking rapport and severing rapport. If you're pushing it over the edge of severing rapport, where you start actually hurting her feelings, that's one thing. But if you're teasing her being playful, I've never seen it to where a guy has overdone the teasing, honestly. You do have to have some moments where you're having authentic conversations to ground the conversation in something. But for the most part, it's really hard to overdo the teasing. Pretty difficult.
This video reach more guys like you who need it. So take a quick second and click the like button below. Okay, if you're done, let's move on to number 5, asking too many questions. Questions are important, and they're an important part of conversation, and you should be asking questions when talking to a girl. You should definitely be asking questions, but similar to teasing and complimenting, you don't want to overdo it, because conversations are supposed to be a give and take dynamic, like volleyball, back and forth. You can ask questions, as many as you like, but you should share stuff about yourself as well. Share your opinions, share your ideas, your stories, your jokes, and so on. There has to be a balance, and there has to be a nice give and take. And if you just ask questions after question after question, it can feel like a job interview to the girl, which of course is not fun or exciting in any way, and would...
When a guy is rapid fire just asking questions, he doesn't care about the answer. He's just trying to keep the conversation going oftentimes. Whenever I've seen a guy do this, it's because he feels lower value than the girl. Here's a couple tricks you can use to actually overcome what we call interview mode. Number 1 is that you can ask, instead of asking a question, make a statement. So instead of asking, what does a girl do for a living? You can say, I'm guessing you're a nurse. She's like, what makes you say that? Now it starts a conversation. Now, my other strategy, this is actually one that I made for myself. You can use it for you if you want to. You ask a getting to know you question, name, age, job, where do you live, where you're from, how many kids, and then what you do is you build off it. You improv off of it. You improv off it for a while. You say, what do you do? You're a nurse? Oh, so you're a very caring person, I take it, right? See, I'm not so sure about that. I'm a little bit of trouble. I don't know if you can handle me. And then you can do this, play off it a little bit. And then over a period of time, if you run out of things to say on this, let's say you improv to the point where you have nothing else to say about the topic, then ask another getting to know you question. Then from here, improv off that. It's a good way to add breaks in the rapid fire questions. The problem with asking questions is when you do this is where it's rapid fire and you're not actually caring about the answers. That's when this becomes a bad strategy.
Drive her away and drive her crazy, honestly. What's more, when you just meet a girl for the first time, you actually have to do a lot more sharing than asking, since you're an unfamiliar presence to her at that time. She's not comfortable yet talking to you. She doesn't know who you are. So you have to take the initiative and talk more. She needs to talk the most, but you have to share and talk a little bit. As you do, she's going to start to relax and she's going to open up more. And slowly you can move towards what I call the golden ratio of conversation, the 75-25 rule, where she talks 75% of the time and you talk 25%. But again, remember, this can only happen gradually. At first, it needs to be around like 10% and you 90%, when you're doing 90% of the talking and she's doing 10% of the talking. Yes. Yeah. Number 6, being stoically unimpressed. Many guys seem to think that being alpha means being Mr. Stoneface all the time, showing no emotion, not being impressed by anything or anyone. And while you may have seen some movie and TV characters that pull off this stoic demeanor and impress girls with it, the truth is, in real life, it doesn't make you look cool or like an alpha in any way. It is a huge misconception, and it actually makes you very boring to be around, like not fun to be around. In the real world, we girls, like a guy...
Let me give a caveat to this, because she is onto something with this, but she's missing it slightly. So what it is that there's people that will be overly expressive and too underly expressive. So they'll be too stoic to the point of it looking repressed, and then you'll be supplicating. You'll be, hey, how's it going? Haha, smiling and all this over-the-top stuff. But then there are people who are too stoic, who are not expressing themselves, who are just very flat. They don't know how to express themselves or their emotions, and it becomes very unimpressive. Now, the Goldilocks zone here is right in the middle between the two. It is not too expressive to where it's supplicating, but not too much, not too little to where it is just flat and dry and looking repressed. It's right in the middle between the expression and the stoicism. If you match these two, you'll come across masculine and engaging in your conversations.
Expressive, who shows emotions, who's animated with his voice, gestures, and facial expressions. That's what really makes a cool and charismatic.
Again, you can overdo this to where it can come across supplicating, which makes you look like a bitch.
It makes him fun to talk to and fun to hang out with. So if you think dressing up like James Bond and having a stoic, stone-cold demeanor is going to get you girls, you're mistaken. And it only happens in the movies, not in real life. All right? Number 7, allowing her to interrupt you easily. Okay? This is a tiny thing, but it has a huge impact. So if you let a girl you're talking to or anyone you're talking to interrupt you constantly as you say something, it sends a really bad message, the wrong message. It shows her that you're a pushover, not to be taken seriously, and people lose respect for you. Women lose respect for you. Now, yes, it's natural to get interrupted in conversation, especially when it's like exciting. It's going to happen a lot of the time. That's not the point. It's about how you handle the interruption when it happens. If a girl interrupts you while you're saying something, do you stop and concede the floor, or do you finish your point and then let it go? The latter is the better option and would actually increase her respect for you. So just finish your sentence and then address the interruption. It's a small change of habit, but it's going to make a huge difference to how she perceives you. Moving on to the last point, and this one is very important. I said number 8, most important, and the vast majority of guys struggle with this. Number 8, inability to hold a conversation. So honestly, I don't know if this qualifies as a habit. I guess conversation is a habit, but this is so common for most men out there. They are unable to hold a conversation for a long period of time, and it completely ruins their chances of getting the women that they want. So how does it ruin their chances? Well, it's simple. As I've said in a previous video, a strong connection and a sense of attraction can only form over a long period of time. It's not instant, as they show in the movies. I mean, sometimes it is, but most often it's not. The girl won't be swooning over you as soon as you meet her, or even like 10 or 20 minutes into talking to you. It takes more time for her to let her guard down and open up to you. It takes time for that natural chemistry to build and strengthen. And without it, a girl would never agree to date or do anything sexual with you, even if you're the best guy in the entire world in every way. Which means if you want to get the girl, you need to know how to hold a long conversation. And it's a non-negotiable. Not only that, you need to know how to keep it interesting and fun so that the girl doesn't lose interest midway before that natural chemistry is built. There's no magic pill that can help you get a girl without talking to her for a long time. Maybe if you're her celebrity crush or something, it can work. But other than that, it's going to take a major miracle. Now, of course, you might wonder, so Marni, what do I do if I have trouble holding a long conversation, a long, interesting conversation? What's the solution? How do I change that? Well, the solution is simple. It's actually very easy to become a conversation wizard, believe it or not. I've had so many students who went from not being able to approach women to being able to hold endless conversations with the hottest girls in less than...
Is this going to be a sales pitch?
...weeks time. From complete conversation amateurs to absolute masters, all thanks to this one video that I created on how to have endless conversation, how to keep the conversation flowing and going. And I have included the link to this video down below. I also have it somewhere on this screen if you want to click now. I want you to go watch this video.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you because I don't even want to waste your time. I have videos on this too, but I'll just tell you straight up. There's a few things you can do as a human. There's a few things you can do as a man too, as a human. There's a few things you can do as a man that'll help you out with holding a conversation. Number one, practice. You got to get in a lot more conversations. You got to start talking to people in general, in your Uber, at your work, in the grocery store. You got to start holding eye contact with people. Number two, how easy is it to have a conversation with somebody when you feel like they're lower value than you or at your value, with your best friend, with your mom, with your brother, with your sister, with your best guy friend? It's probably a lot fucking easier than it is holding a conversation with a girl. Is it that suddenly you forgot how to have a conversation or hold like a unique one? No. It's that you think the girl's higher value than you, so you start holding back or you start throttling yourself. The act of not believing you are of value will make you start struggling for things to say. You'll stop overthinking it, and it makes it a lot more difficult to actually have a real conversation. Something else you can do is you can just start throwing mud at the wall. Just throw mud at the wall, say out what comes out of the top of your head and see what sticks. By doing this, you'll start getting a poke and prod action where you'll start noticing things that go really well in conversations and things that don't go so well. So basically just learn trial by fire. Something else you can do is to start developing an overall self-amused demeanor in your life. Make it to where you are constantly just having fun. Make it a part of your mantra, your overall life mantra. This is the person I'm going to be. I'm going to be somebody that's fun and playful. As you get better at being fun and playful and not taking things so seriously, it'll be a lot easier for you to have flowing, free conversations that are humorous to you and to her. Now, the last bit is you have to risk offending to become charismatic. You have to risk offending others. You have to risk saying offensive things on occasion to be authentic with somebody. If you're not willing to risk being offensive with somebody, now I'm not saying to be offensive, it's still a street where you and the girl are working together to create a fun conversation. But you have to risk offending the person in order to get to that real authentic conversation. Now, for the real question, does Marni have the ability to coach? I would say yes. Is she amazing? I give her a 7.5 out of 10. I think she did a great job. Do I think that she's the end-all be-all, this incredible coach? No. But for beginners, I think she crushes it, and I think she does a great job. For anybody that is in the early stages of learning how to be better with women, Marni the Wing Woman, she crushes it. And that's all I have to say. Now, with that being said, peace.